there's so much guilt and shame around parenting. And I was listening to this one speaker talk about dealing with inner child work. And he said, would you ever say to a child, you don't need to be feeling that way. When are you going to get over that? You would never do that. That's abusive. Don't do that to your inner child. And I'm sitting here going, shit, I've said that to my real kids. So there's this guilt that comes in. And so I found doing the work on even my husband or a coworker is so much easier. And I feel, but when I'm doing it with my own kids, it's really difficult when it comes to things like the idea in our head, we know better than our kids. So I've tried to do the work on things like brushing their teeth or eating crap food. And I just hear Katie in my mind going, just do the work, do the work. And so I try, and then I'm like, but I can't just never let them brush their teeth again or just eat cupcakes 12 times a day. And I do the work and I'm like, I still think that they shouldn't skip school or do drugs or, so that's been a huge challenge. And I don't know if maybe you would suggest I just do the work on I know better, but even when I've done the work on I know better than my children, I still go back to, but I can't let them eat cupcakes 6 times a day. So is there some sort of balance? Because we only see the highlight reel when Katie's doing her interview. So does she ever just say, no, you can't have the frickin' cupcake, go away? Or does she just be like, honey, I don't, I'm here for you if you want to eat that cupcake. I'm like,
right.
So I don't know. Where's the balance? As if you could speak to, and I don't know, do you have children?
I don't have children, but yes.
Okay.
I have.
But you've dealt with children, you've met children.
I do. Yes, exactly.
So there's an investment because we think that we are totally responsible for our children. And I know mentally that that's a lie, that these souls have come through us. But we are so programmed to control and know what's best for our kids. So how could the work help with something like that?
Well, I think you already, kind of pointed to that, is that idea of balance. And I think that when doing anything, including doing the work, the mind has a tendency to go like all or nothing. So either if I do the work, then that means whatever my children say and do is fine. Like, I'm going to love what is. So loving reality means, like, if they want to have 12 cupcakes, they can have 12 cupcakes. And, that's the mind kind of going to the other extreme. And this can happen when you're new to the work or anytime. You find a turnaround, which is the opposite. Like, maybe we're questioning the thought she shouldn't have 12 cupcakes, and then we turn it around, it's like she should have 12 cupcakes, and I'm like, what do I do with that now? Now I'm enabling this kind of almost addictive behavior, right? I don't want to do that.
Right.
That doesn't feel right. So the thing that I always like to keep in mind whenever I'm doing the work, or even anytime, but especially in the work, is that these turnarounds, these questions, they ask me things and point me in directions for me to explore. And the idea is for me to find some balance, but I have to find the balance. It might say, maybe a little less maybe a little less controlling of her eating the cupcakes might be balance, but it doesn't say give her 12 cupcakes and make sure, let her just do whatever she wants. So when I'm doing the work, I'm constantly checking in with myself about where's what seems and feels right to me, and I'll feel it. Like, this is uncharted territory, of course, so I don't know for sure, but there is, if I'm paying attention, it wasn't feeling right, that she was not obeying me at all. So I was stressed about not being able to control her. Then I did the work and it starts shifting to, I don't have to control her that much. It's like, or maybe it's okay that she has some junk food sometimes. But then the mind doesn't stop there, and it's like, oh no, she can have junk food all the time. There's no stop to it. So somewhere in the middle, I'll find that balance point for me that feels right, and I kind of stop there. Like, okay, yeah, maybe I could back off a little bit on the controlling, but there's also some genuine responsibility that feels right to me for the health of a child who doesn't even have a fully developed brain yet and can't take care of herself. So yeah, there is a place where it's actually my role to do that, and it doesn't feel stressful. But somewhere in there, there's that. That's what we're looking for, is the balance. An analogy I sometimes use with describing the work is you're out hiking and you come across uh, a snake and you get freaked out and you run away. And then the work says, "Are you sure? Go back and look. Was that really a snake?" And you go back and look, and 9 times out of 10, it was just a rope there. It wasn't a snake. It wasn't anything scary. But one of those times, it is a snake. So I'm like, okay, well, good to know. Okay, I'll just stay away. So we're using the the work to go back and look at situations, but it doesn't mean that just because I found a turnaround, that's now the new truth. Like, no, it's the turnaround there, like a medicine to balance out the original thought, so that I can kind of find a place where I'm less attached to my original thinking. So if I'm less attached, even though I'm disciplining my children, if I'm less attached about it, it doesn't come across as desperate, and it doesn't come across as harsh, and I don't have to be guilty because I'm doing it either, or because I'm not doing it. Like, I'm just finding my way with it. And yeah, so that's the process for me. It's really, if you sum up this whole process of doing the work, it's really about listening to myself. What the work injects is, did you look over here? Did you try this direction? It gives pointers, but I have to go and find, do those pointers actually make sense to me, and or not? And sometimes I'll look at a turnaround and I'm like, yeah, I don't find the truth in it, or it's just a small bit of truth. And I leave it at that. I'll just keep moving. And many turnarounds have both truth and not truth. Like, they're true and not true, or both things are true, right?
Mm-hmm.
I should discipline my children and I shouldn't discipline my children. Like, they're both true and they have to coexist. And then you have to kind of feel out where that difference is. This is the art of living. It's not just black or white. So this is just about bringing awareness to that, and then I'll start feeling my way in the dark until I get more and more confident in a particular area, about where my truth lies. And it's always changing. So willing to adjust as I do.